All right. Well, I want to thank everybody that has been logging on. We have a lot of folks registered for today's session, so I think we're going to take the next minute or so and let more folks get onto this webinar. But in the meantime, I wanted to just share a couple of housekeeping updates with everyone. This session is packed full of resources. There's a lot of information in this particular session. So we will be sharing out the slide deck with everyone who has registered. So we will make sure everybody has an opportunity to access the slide deck and all of the links and resources at the end of today's session. If you have questions, while James is going through the PowerPoint, please use the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen. This is going to be the best way to sort of log those questions, because we're not going to want to stop in the middle of the presentation. So you can put your questions in there, and at the very end of the session, we'll go ahead and work through every question and answer each as best we can. For folks that want to turn on their captions and you're not sure how to do that, at the bottom of your screen, there is a button that says more, and it has 3 little dots above it. If you click on that more button and you click the option for show subtitle, you will see the captions appear on your screen. So if you need captions, feel free to go ahead and use that option. Sometimes it's just helpful in case you feel like you've missed something, or you've had background noise and you didn't hear what was said. So again, we will share this presentation at the end of the session today. Any questions you have at the end, you can also email us. Use the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen for questions that you have during the session today, and we'll address them at the end. And then again, to turn on your captions, you just use the more button at the bottom of the screen with the 3 little dots, and you choose show subtitle. And with that, I am going to put myself on mute, and I am going to hand it over to James. But I did want to thank everyone for being here today. I am Lori. I'm the director of the Maryland AT program, and James is our assistive technology clinician.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Lori. And I want to go ahead and share my screen, and we can get the PowerPoint started. So 1 second here. All right. Screen is shared. All right, perfect. All right, so yes, I am James Whitney. I'm an AT clinician here at the Maryland Assistive Technology Program, and this is part of our 2-part webinar series regarding assistive technology for seniors in the workplace. So the previous presentation was 2 weeks ago, and that was more regarded to actual assistive technology devices, which I'll still touch on a few of those here today, but today's focus is mainly on the services and resources in the state. So this is how to utilize those resources, where they are, and information on how to contact them and so forth. And in regards to increasing successful employment with our aging population. So our objectives here today will be, I'll start with a speaker introduction, just kind of about myself. And then I'll get into some terms like assistive technology and also disability, ageism, and I'll get into what a reasonable accommodation is in regards to employment. And I'll also talk about some legislation that's currently in place to protect the rights of seniors with and without disabilities. And then I want to get into information on the services and resources in the state of Maryland that will assist the aging population, gather the resources they need for successful employment. And then I'll have a conclusion, and I will put some basic contact information on how to contact us and our regional partners. And then I'll open it up to a Q&A. So I'm just going to dive right in. So I am James Whitney. I come from Salisbury, Maryland, where I was born and raised, and I got my undergrad at SU with a bachelor's in psychology and a minor in sociology. Then I went on to occupational therapy school at VCU in Richmond, Virginia. That was a 3-year program that I wrapped up. And then I started working here as an AT clinician. So I love how OT and assistive technology really go hand in hand with helping individuals increase their quality of life and also become more independent and successful in engaging in their meaningful activities or occupations. And that often includes assistive technology. So this is a great way to have both kind of combine in this job position here. So I'm gonna, so moving forward here as a why are we here? And just some stats here is that the number of Americans over the age of 65 was projected to double from 2010 to 2050, from 40.2 million all the way to 88.5 million. And that was from a study that came out in 2013. So as the baby boomers and everyone are getting older, that's increasing a lot more need for successful employment for our aging population. So also individuals with disabilities and impairments can be a productive and valuable employee. And our aging adults who choose to work are legally allowed to do so with or without the use of reasonable accommodations. And I'll get into what that means. And one or two disabilities / impairments does not negate the multiple skills an individual has. And it's not always easy for employers to find good workers. And employers may not always know that you are entitled to reasonable accommodations that may facilitate your ability to complete your job, and just need to know what you need. So as we said, older workers are a vital segment of today's workforce. And some individuals who have retired from one form of work and have chosen to switch careers or work part-time to earn extra money and maintain insurance benefits, keep active, and learn new skills or socialize. And as I said, with the aging of the baby boomer generation, the average age for workers will increase, and the likelihood that more employees will be managing a disability also increases. And also just please keep in mind that aging by itself is not an impairment, but a person who has a medical condition such as hearing loss or osteoporosis or arthritis that's often associated with age does have an impairment on the basis of that medical condition. And if that impairment substantially limits a major life activity, then that person may be entitled to accommodations under the ADA. And here's a quote that I like to have out there to get started with, is that for people who don't have disabilities, technology makes things easier. And for people with disabilities, technology makes things possible. So, okay, so just to get started, what is assistive technology? And so that comes in two parts, which is what we did 2 weeks ago, which was all about devices, which is any item or piece of equipment or product system, whether acquired commercially or modified or customized, that is used to increase and maintain or improve the functional capabilities of individuals with disabilities. Or services, which is what we are focusing on today mainly, which is any service that directly assists an individual with a disability in the selection, acquisition, or use of an assistive technology device. Okay. And the definition of disability under the ADA is a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activities, such as caring for oneself or performing manual tasks, seeing, hearing, eating, sleeping, walking, standing, or lifting, bending, speaking, breathing, learning, reading, concentrating, thinking, communicating, and working. So really could be anything. And also the operation of a major bodily function, including but not limited to functions of the immune system, or a normal cell growth, or a digestive, bowel, bladder, and a neurological, brain, and respiratory, circulatory, endocrine, and reproductive functions. So I just want to just kind of briefly touch base on ageism and what is it? It is prejudice or also discrimination on the grounds of a person's age. Examples could be losing a job because of your age, or not getting hired because the employer wanted a younger looking person to do the job, or you were fired because your boss wanted to keep younger workers who are paid less. So just want to touch on a couple stats here. Is the negative psychological effects of ageism is that older adults can internalize ageist beliefs and begin to believe and behave as though they are no longer independent, healthy, vibrant adults. So it's kind of these self-fulfilling prophecy there, is that certain things just start to be internalized. And then older adults exposed to negative stereotypes in laboratory studies also demonstrated worse memory, handwriting, and self-confidence, and have appeared to age instantly and are moving in a stereotypical older manner. And also negative physiological health consequences of aging is that the research that ageism could be associated with short and long-term physiological health consequences is from a study from Levy and colleagues that documented heightened cardiovascular stress responses among older adults subliminally exposed to negative stereotypes of aging, which was compared to those exposed to positive stereotypes. And that had high blood pressure, increased heart rate, and that can also lead to hypertension with high blood pressure and all that kind of stuff. And that can exacerbate other chronic health issues such as heart disease, stroke, or kidney disease, and obesity, and also diabetes. So let's go in towards the legislation. So the Age Discrimination in Employment Act of 1967 states that it shall be unlawful for an employer to, number one, is fail or refuse to hire or to discharge any individual or otherwise discriminate against any individual with respect to his compensation, terms, and conditions or privileges of employment. And that's because of their age. Also, two, it's unlawful for an employer to limit, segregate, or classify his employees in any way which would also deprive or tend to deprive any individual of employment opportunities or otherwise adversely affect his status as an employee because of such an individual's age. Or three, reduce the wage rate of any employee in order to comply with this chapter. And there's also the ADA of 1990, which is the Americans with Disabilities Act. So the ADA protects the rights of individuals with disabilities in employment, access to state and local government services, and places of public accommodation, transportation, and other important areas of American life. And it has three titles, which Title I applies to employment, which is kind of what we're focusing on here. And then Title II applies to state and local government services and programs. And Title III applies to places of public accommodations and businesses that offer services to the public. So Title I of the ADA, employment, that prohibits private employers, state and local governments, employment agencies, and labor unions from discriminating against qualified individuals with disabilities in job application procedures. And that's hiring, firing, advancement, compensation, job training, and other terms, conditions, and privileges of employment. And the ADA also covers employers with 15 or more employees, including state and local government. So it covers those businesses that have 15 or more employees, so not always those small businesses. So it's just something to keep in mind there. So in short, the ADA protects you from discrimination in all employment practices, including job applications, hiring, firing, training, pay, promotions, benefits, and leave. And you also have the right to be free from harassment because of your disability, and an employer may not fire or discipline you for asserting your rights under the ADA. And most importantly, you have a right to request a reasonable accommodation for the hiring process and on the job. So what constitutes a reasonable accommodation? So that is any change or adjustment to a job, the work environment, or the way things usually are done that would allow you to apply for a job or also perform job functions or enjoy equal access to benefits available to other individuals in the workplace. And that there are many types of things that may help people with disabilities work successfully. Accommodations are sometimes referred to as productivity enhancers, and a reasonable accommodation should not be viewed as special treatment, as they often benefit all employees. And a couple examples of this are that I found online that was on the Cornell Law website, was that it may include making existing facilities used by employees readily accessible to and are usable by the individuals with disabilities, and could also be job restructuring, part-time or modified work schedules, also reassignment to a vacant position, or the acquisition or modification of equipment or AT devices. which appropriate adjustments or modifications of examinations and training materials or policies, and the provision of qualified readers or interpreters and other similar accommodations for individuals with disabilities. So just between the ADA and the ADEA, you have a legal right to not be discriminated against on the basis of age and or disability in the workplace. And aging is just another word for living. That's kind of how it all ties together here. So let's dive right into the employment services and resources for seniors. So I'm going to get started with a quick survey, and that is, are you familiar with or have you used the services of the Maryland Assistive Technology Program? And that is MDTAP, and that's who I work for, and also Lori. The answers are yes, no, and yes, but unclear of what the services include. And Lori is going to bring up an interactive survey here. It's going to help everyone be able to answer the question. There we go. So if you could vote yes, no, or yes, but unclear of what the services include. And I'll give this like a minute or so and let everyone answer, or until it gets to all 38 people who have voted. All right, we have 31 out of 38 votes. I'll give it just a couple more seconds here. All right. So it looks like mostly yes, over half yes, but then the other half no, and then not clear of our services. So that's a great way just to kind of see just where everyone's at as far as our participants here, and give me a better idea of how I should explain things. Whoops. So let me find my spot here. Sorry about that. All right. So the MDTAP is the Maryland Assistive Technology Program. That's who I work for. And I'm going to dive into what we do, which is provide statewide access to AT through equipment demonstrations, loans, and also reuse and financing and training. And here's a link to our website here. It's mdtap.org. So this is kind of just an overview of kind of what we do, is that anyone could kind of reach out to me or any of us by phone call or email or our online form. And that's kind of how you would get started. And then I can offer either a direct assistance and kind of help you through any of your problems, or I could refer you to another resource that may be able to help you out more directly if your issue or problem is kind of out of our scope of practice. And then I can, so then kind of from there is that if it's in regards to our office and kind of what we do, and it's about assistive technology devices, then I can sit down and do a consultation with you, and I can find out more about what your needs are, just kind of just the whole gamut of just like what you're struggling with, what you're doing well, and what your abilities are, and then maybe disabilities, and kind of paint a whole picture. And then from there, I can demonstrate a few different devices, kind of show you a few things that are in our library that I think might be able to help you out. And I can show you how they work and what to expect while using them. And then if all parties agree, then I could move forward with a 30-day loan of that device for the client to take home. And that's to help them have it in their natural setting, like school or work or home, et cetera. So it's a 30-day loan of a device. And as a lot of us probably know, is that a lot of these devices are pretty pricey. So it's better to try something out first and help inform your I guess, purchasing decision. So it's good to see if it really does work for you, and if it's and if it works the way you think it would work, and if it's actually worth having. So then I can help you do that. Also, if you already have a device and you just want to, and it's in the shop, maybe it's getting fixed, then I can also loan you out something just to hold you over until that device comes back. So there's also a few different reasons that someone might want to loan, but so that's kind of just in a nutshell, kind of what we do is just to help our clients in Maryland, which any individual in Maryland who has a disability qualifies for our program. It is completely free of charge, and it's here to help increase access to AT devices and spread knowledge and awareness of what's out there, as things are always being kind of invented and developed, and there's new smart apps that come out for tablets and things like that. So our job is always to stay up to date on these new devices and to help spread that word to anyone who might benefit from it. And then I can also help you with certain price comparison shopping and finding a proper vendor online and all that good stuff. So I don't actually sell anything here. That's not what we do, sales, but I can help you inform a certain decision. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we do. And we have 4 different regional offices and libraries across the state. So that's our central Baltimore location is where I am right now, and that's over by Morgan State. But then we also have satellite offices that are up in Southern Maryland, also Western Maryland, and also on the Eastern Shore, Salisbury, who can all kind of do similar stuff as far as trainings, demos, loans, and outreach. So if you're closer to one of them, then I might refer you over to that location. Yeah, and then so I can do the AT demonstrations and customized consultations with us, which is the AT clinicians, and then issue short-term device loans up to 4 weeks at a time. And then we also do all kinds of different AT sessions, just like this one here, with the trainings and just informative topics and outreach and things like that, just kind of spreading the word on different things. So it's always good to stay up to date and to tune in to those. And online here is our virtual AT library. All these links you would find on our website. That's mdtap.org. So there's the virtual AT library that kind of showcases what certain devices that we do have and kind of give you an idea of what might be available. And then there's also a home modifications directory that's got a whole bunch of info on different just vendors and contractors and tax information and all that kind of good stuff that can help someone out who might be adding things in their home or making things more accessible. And there's also a loan closet directory on our website, and that is a list of a lot of different nonprofit orgs who might have certain I guess like durable medical equipment. So that's something that we don't do here at MDTAP, is things like walkers and wheelchairs and bedside commodes and raised toilet seats and all that kind of stuff is a DME. And that's what we kind of don't do. But in our loan closet directory, there is a list of a lot of different places that do that stuff, that might have it for free, that might have a small charge. So all that information is listed on that link, and it has contact information for all of them and what you can expect them to have or not have. And then also lastly is a schedule of our webinars and just like when all of them are coming out and what topics to expect. So I'm going to move forward here and talk about the Assistive Technology Loan Program, which is also here in our office, but that's a different division. This is a financial loan program. So like their mission is the ATLP helps Maryland residents with disabilities and their families qualify for low interest loans to help them buy equipment that will help them live, work, and learn more independently. So who can apply? Anyone who intends to use the loan to buy assistive technology for a Maryland resident with a disability. And that includes people with disabilities or family members, friends, etc. Will everyone be able to get a loan? No. So he must have a good likelihood of repaying that loan. So it's Tanya Goodman helps run that program, and so like they'll do kind of a full look at your application and check out certain things like income and debt ratio and all that kind of stuff, and then go from there. and how much can be borrowed is anywhere from $500 to $50,000. And that's for assistive technology purchases. And then, so look, what that might look like could be home mods, could be adaptive vehicles, could be scooters and wheelchairs, braille equipment, hearing and vision aids, AAC devices, and environmental control units, and also computers and adaptive peripherals, and many other things. And a link to the survey for the ATLP that can get you started is right over here. And also, as I go through this, I'm going to send out this PowerPoint to everybody, but all of these titles have a hyperlink that's going to take you directly to that website. So it's just something to keep in mind, that I have all the websites built into these titles here. So I'm going to move forward and talk about the Centers for Independent Living, which the acronym is CIL, CIL. So if I say CIL, that's what I'm talking about. And that there are 7 regional nonprofit CILs that work with the Maryland Access Point to provide services that promote independent living for all individuals with any disability, regardless of age. So CILs are designated and operated by individuals with disabilities. Common services available through your local CIL include peer support and mentoring, and also independent living skills, trainings, assistance for teens and young adults, and advocacy and assistive technology. So there's a whole bunch of different things in there. And they are organized by county. So if you were to go to this website that I have in here, it's going to have a list here of each CIL and also where they're located, and it has a phone number, email, and who they serve. So right here is the accessible resources for Independence, serves Anne Arundel and Howard counties. So all of these serve a different spot in Maryland. So that's something to also keep in mind, is that where you live would inform you of who you should reach out to. And moving forward, so there's also the Maryland Access Points. The aging, which is the ARDC, is also known locally as Maryland Access Point. So it can be kind of confusing there with all these different terms and alphabet soup, but they were established as a single entry point for individuals seeking long-term support services. And Maryland's 20 local MAP sites provide individual and person-centered counseling to consumers seeking information, and also referral and program support for long-term services. In most cases, the area agency on aging is the lead organization in the MAP structure, and the MAP partners include local health, social services departments, CILs, and behavioral health agencies and other organizations through which people seek assistance. So if you clicked here, there is a link to Maryland's 20 different MAP sites. So it has contact information and addresses for all of them there. Okie doke. And the area agencies on aging, which is the AAA, are local agencies that assist and also support older adults and family caregivers, and adults with disabilities. The AAAs are the lead agency for Maryland Access Point, and you can find MAP located within each AAA and in some areas at local senior centers. And they can help you with planning assistance to understand your options and help you come up with an action plan for services that meet your goals and needs. They can help you with access, so you can work with MAP staff to complete applications for available public and private pay services, and also navigate the public long-term care system, get information and referrals to health and social services providers, and connect with necessary services. They also help with the community services as far as senior center activities and meals in a social group setting, adult daycares and a nursing facilities, and elder abuse prevention and a legal assistance, employment counseling, and health and fitness programs as well. And also in-home services could be chores and personal care, home delivered meals, home repair, home mods that can help support independent living and caregiver support as well. So I have links here that you can find your local AAA office, and also here is just the main website. Okay, so here is the Hearing Health Collaborative. This program is relatively new that also brings together the expertise of Access Hears, the Hearing and Speech Agency, and Baltimore City's Health Department to address age-related hearing loss in Baltimore. So this is a awesome resource for anyone who has any age-related hearing loss. It's a nonprofit organization whose mission is to connect individuals with hearing loss to the solutions that they need to age well. So it's founded by leading hearing experts and entrepreneurs at the Johns Hopkins University. The social enterprise employs an evidence-based program to deliver services directly to the community. Access Hears offers its clients a low-cost, in-person or a virtual service delivery, teaching them how to use high-quality listening devices while providing them with ongoing support to ensure their services. So they can help out with low-cost, over-the-counter hearing devices, also Medicaid-covered hearing aids, free case management services, and more. So there is contact information down here at the bottom for Diamond Hill, and she has an email address there as well, if that would be easier. And they can also have you try out a couple devices. So like there is a device called the Super Ear that they are willing to have you try out and also take home with you, see if you like it. And then if you want to purchase it, then like they can help you out with that purchase and just kind of show you what's out there. So this is a sound amplification device that's offered by them, and it has the earbuds and also over the ears and over the head. What's it called? Headset, excuse me. Headphones and earbuds. And then it has a sound amplification device that is attached to that can actually pick up the sound of conversation, TV, or whatever it might be, and then transmit that to the hearing aids or headphones so that it can increase your ability to hear things. It's battery powered. It doesn't require hearing aids. It's easy to use. It's more of a plug and play and then turn on kind of thing. It can also attach to belt loops and things like that. So it's great to take on the go. It's got portability and it has good sound reception. There's also one that's called the Sidekick. That is this one right here. And that it looks and kind of fits like a hearing aid, but it's not a hearing aid. It's a sound amplification device. And that can be used right out of the box. It's got the volume and 3 different modes that can suit your hearing. So it can also, it's Bluetooth, so it can also pair up with your iPhone or Android or a desktop computer. And it can be used for incoming and outgoing phone calls or music, audio, also Zoom meetings. It could be used for any of that, and it is compatible with other operating systems. And it has a customizing app that can allow you to set the settings a lot more in depth. So instead of just 3 different listening modes, that gives you a chance to really kind of alter a bunch of different things and change them so it suits your hearing needs a little bit better. So this is through the Access Hears and the Hearing Health Collaborative. So if you contact Diamond Hill, then you could ask her just a few more questions about what they have to offer and certain things that are available to try out. And I know that these devices are definitely 2 of them. Okie doke. So I'm going to move forward here. So this is the Senior Community Services Employment Program for the workforce development and adult learning. So the SCSEP is available to job seekers aged 55 and older who are unemployed and meet established low-income guidelines and also desire an opportunity for training and employment. So individuals are given a training assignment that most closely matches their personal goals for employment. And training assignments are coordinated with nonprofit or government agencies, also known as host agencies, and are limited to 20 hours per week at the established minimum wage hourly rate, and applicants are not required to have previous work experience. So there's also a link up here for that resource. Okay. And then we have Seniors Service America Incorporated, which is the Center for Workforce Inclusion. And that link is embedded into this right here. And they can help you also the Center for Workforce Inclusion. It will provide a range of services, including skill assessment, training, and post-placement mentoring. So this program exists to serve low-income, older job seekers with a focus on communities who have been traditionally underserved by workforce programs, such as veterans, women, and job seekers who were formerly incarcerated. There's I had a quick video here. It doesn't want to open. Let me see. So here is the website. Well, I don't want to waste time trying to find it again. Here it is. It's a quick video about what they do.
We've recognized the value of our nation's longevity economy. Those Americans of 50 and over represent almost $7.1 trillion in economic activities. They support 100 million jobs and $4.5 trillion in wages and salaries. Being older in this country is not to be ignored. We've got to find ways of recognizing their value and respecting their value as Americans who are critical to our national economic self-interest. It's my hope that in 5 or 10 years' time, that we will be in all 50 states. It's my vision that in 5 years' time, less than half of our funding will come from our federal partners, but that we're able to successfully mobilize our nation's philanthropy community, that we're able to successfully mobilize our nation's corporate community, so that in each state, based on need, a low-income American or resident who's 50 and over can find a program that's funded through and by Senior Service America to help them transition successfully back into the workforce. That's what I hope my vision will create, and I believe it's possible.
All right. So that's just a quick video about what they do. So it's a great resource there as well. Okay, so here we have the Telecommunications Access of Maryland, TAM, or also the Maryland Accessible Telecommunications, which is MAT. So this program is there to help you get the telecommunications equipment needed to independently make or also receive phone calls. So yeah, MAT program says, so this is something that we also don't do at MDTAP, is telecommunications, because the MAT program already covers this. So that would be seen as a duplication of services, but they are there to help you get the telephones that you need for you. So whether you're a deaf, hard of hearing, or blind, low vision, or have certain just like certain I can't think of the word I'm looking for right now. Either way, someone from the MAT program, it can come to you and do a evaluation and find out what telephone's going to fit your needs the best, and then get you started with that. And as long as you qualify and all that with the application, then it is also telephone is also given to you. So it's a free of charge kind of thing, and it'll have a personalized eval, have you try out a couple things, and then end up having your own telephone system that's going to help you make phone calls and also receive phone calls. So this is a great program that's out there. Here's the contact information. I also embedded the online form right here, and it has a printable form if you'd rather mail it in, and there's also an online form here that you can send online, and there's also a couple phone calls as well. So yeah, it's a great program, and that's all about the telecommunications. All right, so the next resource here is the Blind Industries and Services in Maryland, BISM. And they're a not-for-profit organization dedicated to providing career and training resources to blind residents of Maryland. And they can offer training in Braille, cane travel and independent living, and also assistive technology. So their directory is over here. And there's also a link to their website up here as well. Okay, and DORS has a blindness and vision loss program called OBVS. And this program is for individuals whose primary disability is a vision loss. So OBVS rehabilitation counselors and rehabilitation technologists, case managers, and rehab teachers are especially trained to help people who are blind or are vision impaired or deafblind with planning for employment and independence. And OBVS can also assist individuals over the age of 55 who have independent living goals. So their services include career guidance and assessment, assistive technology, and also vocational or academic education, or independent living skills, training, orientation, and mobility, and job placement. So you can contact your local DORS offices to request services. If you're eligible for the services, you will be assigned a counselor or teacher who works in your community. And this is Lydia. I got this off their website. This is a success story that she participated in several OBVS programs, which helped her get a job at the Social Security Administration in Baltimore, where she has been successfully employed for many years and has received a number of promotions. So it's always good to hear a good success story. All right, I'm gonna take a sip of water. The next resource here is the Maryland's American Job Center, and that's the Workforce Development and Adult Learning Program. So Maryland American Job Centers provide a full range of assistance to job seekers and businesses that's free of charge. And the centers are part of Maryland's Job Now, the MJN. It's a network of high-performing, results-oriented workforce organizations investing in employment and training strategies, services, and initiatives, helping job seekers and businesses succeed. So it's staffed with qualified professionals who can assist with numerous employment-related services. And the centers stand ready to serve Marylanders with high quality services and programs. So the job seeker services include career exploration assistance and also referrals to training programs, placement services, resume preparation assistance, and workshops to enhance job seeking skills and work readiness. Applicants have access to computers with internet access. They have printers, also photocopiers, fax machines, telephones, and a variety of job search resource materials. All right, and now we have the Maryland Client Assistance Program, CAP. So CAP will help you with your concerns or difficulties that you may have when applying for or are receiving services funded under the Federal Rehabilitation Act. And the Rehabilitation Act services include, I lost my spot there, vocational and independent services through the Division of Rehabilitation Services, DORS, as well as services through the SILS. And their staff can provide you with information and advocacy assistance to help resolve your concerns about rehabilitation services. CAP staff have detailed knowledge about the DORS program and the federal and state laws and policies that regulate it, and will try to resolve disagreements at the local office level, but will assist you in appeals requested and court actions if necessary. So they're also there for you. And they have email and phone call and info here at the bottom. And also they have a link at the top as well. Okay, the MDOA is the Maryland Department of Aging. And this is just a great overall resource with a variety of information on different services, programs that are offered for seniors in the state of Maryland. Here is a link, that's this website that has a more comprehensive list of what is offered. So just to take you there really quick, here's their programs and services. It'll take you right here. And they have information and empowerment. So there's all these different programs here, as well as community wellness and nutrition activities, all these different. So there's a lot of different services and programs that could be utilized. So you can go to the MDOA for any of those. And I also put in here is the Maryland Durable Medical Equipment Reuse Program that's been launched relatively recently. And that was on over here at this website too. It was one of those listed. I just wanted to kind of highlight it, that this also has a bunch of different DME that's available in the state of Maryland. I'm going to take you there really, really quick, just because this is a free service that might have a hospital bed or a wheelchair or a rollator, all that kind of good stuff that's classified as DME could be found here. Now this link doesn't want to open up for me, so it's just loading. Either way, they have all kinds of different DME. So as long as they have what you're looking for, it's there for you to utilize. So also MDOA does work directly with Maryland senior centers, and they offer things like continuing education and transportation opportunities and more. Now my PowerPoint is not responding. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Sorry, there's a little technical difficulties there. Let me get back to where I was. Oh, that's not the right PowerPoint. Hold on, bear with me 1 moment.
I think it's 2 above the one that, there you go.
Okay, there it is. There it is. I don't know why that just kicked me out there. Okay, so MDOA is where we were. So next we have a survey. So have you used employment services in Maryland in the last 5 years for the purpose of finding employment? So yes, no, or I have used services, or just I don't recall. All right, I'll give it just maybe like 30 more seconds. Just give everyone a chance to answer if they would like to. All right. So it looks like the majority is no. And a few people here, 11 people said yes. So awesome. So like that was a mouthful. That's a lot of resources there. So I will be sending this out to everyone. But I just wanted to like let everyone be aware of what is out there and what are possible avenues to explore to help you with employment. But this also, this kind of, you know, is focusing on employment as part of the series, but there's a lot of resources that help you in other parts of your life that might not be employment. And that's also something I would just like to note there. So I'm going to just kind of go into here a little bit as well and just talk about a few different devices that could be also utilized for successful employment, because this is about assistive technology. I went through the services that are in the state of Maryland that are there to help you out, but now here's a few different devices that could be used as well. And I'm going to showcase a couple here in the office. So there's things like a split keyboard. And this one specifically, we do have here in the office. That is the Kinesis Freestyle. And I'll show that in a second. But that's a great split keyboard to help with the ergonomic positioning. So as far as not having your wrists in a spot that could over time have you have certain RSIs or it's a repetitive strain injury, as far as like it could be like carpal tunnel or certain things like that. So it's always good to keep that in mind. as well as vertical mice. It can help you keep that wrist and forearm in a more neutral position. So here's just a couple of options. You could also try a trackball mouse that instead of having to use your hand in a windshield wiper motion back and forth, scrolling through pages, this is a great way to just use your thumb or maybe whole hand or index finger and scroll the cursor that way. And there's also devices for like magnification. So there's handheld, just old-fashioned magnifiers, and there's also like newer kind of tech, higher tech, also video magnifiers. So I'll show you one of those here as well. I have one of those next to me, and those can be like over here in the bottom left is our Ruby XL HD, and that's more of a smaller screen, but still great for on-the-go purposes. But there's also we also have larger CCTVs here, and that's like this picture down here, and that's used for reading, or it could be used for doing something that's very small, as she's like sewing a button on here to a pair of pants. So it could be used for all kinds of different things. And also there are OCR devices, and that stands for optical character recognition. And these devices can read out to you. So if there's text or something, it could be placed underneath of one of these, or as this lady here has the OrCam device, which attaches to the side of glasses, and that can take a photograph of a document or piece of text and actually read that out loud to you. Down here is the OrCam Read. So up here is the My Eye. Down here is the Read, and that is a similar device as a My Eye. That's more of a handheld device, and that does the same thing. It's able to take a picture of a document or a piece of text, a book, or maybe it's a prescription pill bottle or something like that. It can take a photograph of it and then read it out loud to you. Over here is the Omni Reader, and that is a standalone OCR device. So it actually sits by itself on a desk or something like that, and it can take a photograph down of something, so at a book or a menu or something like that, and then it'll actually pop up on the screen right here and then read that out to you as well. So it has the right now is the black background with white text, but it could be a white background with black text, or a yellow background, or a yellow background with blue text. So it has all these different options for contrast, and then it can zoom in and out, and then it also has a play and pause button here. And it has a speed adjustment too for how fast the OCR actually talks to you. So we have all three of these devices here at MDTAP. So there's also the ClearSounds Quattro 4.0 Pro Plus Amplifier. So I'm going to showcase this one, but it's an amplification device that goes around the neck here, and then it has Bluetooth capability, so it can attach to headphones, either plug in or through Bluetooth, and that is an amplification device to help. It'll take any sounds in the area and then make those louder in the headphones there. But it has a cool part to it that also I'll show you in a second. But it has a part that comes off and can be sat somewhere else in the room and increase the amplification that way as well. So I just wanted to also just quickly go into that Zoom and Google Meets do have things like captioning built into it. So you can always turn that on and off, and it's usually just the click of a button down here. And you also have accessibility features built into your maybe your phone, your iPad, or your computer device. So if it's a Windows device like a PC, it would be through settings and then ease of access. And then if it's an iPhone or Mac, it would go through settings and then accessibility. And they have things for vision, hearing, and also physical and a motor. So a lot of different stuff's already built in that you don't have to actually buy anything. It's there waiting for you. And that's how you access those. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a second. Oh, I had the video off. I'm going to show you a few devices that I have here around me. Okay, great. So I have mentioned that there's the Ruby XL HD, I have that right here. It's a pretty compact device, and I can have this be able to zoom in on text. So I'm going to try to change the angle of this computer. So maybe you can see that a little bit here. So as you can see right here, I'm able to kind of move this around the screen. I can zoom in and out. I can see text that way. And I can also change the contrast. So now it's black background and yellow text. Now it's blue background, yellow text, black background, white text. So it has a number of different contrasts. It has the zoom in and out. And I could also take a photograph of maybe right here. I want to take a still frame of that. Then I don't need the paper anymore. I have that text. Whoops, I accidentally hit a button, but I would have that text stay right there. And then I could still zoom in and out just with that there and all that good stuff. So that is a video magnifier, and that's the Ruby. And those come in all different shapes and sizes too. So I just want to show that one, but I have one that's maybe like a 12-inch screen. I have other ones that are 7 and 5-inch screens. So there's all kinds there. Here is the ClearSounds Quattro right here, and that's the amplification device for sound. So I want to showcase this really quick because I would wear it around my neck, but it has a part here that actually comes off. So this is the transmitter right here. So I could place this somewhere else in the room. If like a meeting's going on, I could put this maybe in the center of the table, or I could put it closer to someone who's speaking, and that way it will be able to get the sound of all that stuff. And I don't have to be right there next to it. I could just take this off and sit it anywhere I want to, and that would help transmit the sounds straight into my hearing earphones or earbuds. That's a really cool device there as well. We also have a different device. This is a Roger MyLink. So just like this device is a neck loop I can wear around my neck, and that actually is compatible with hearing aids and a cochlear implants. So once this is attached to those, I can attach a different device, like this is the Roger Pen. So I have this as connected to my hearing aids or cochlear implants, and I would just have this around my neck. And then I have this device that connects to this. So they're all connected now. And I could sit this if a speaker is presenting in the front of the room and maybe I'm sitting all the way in the back, I could put this in their pocket or have them hold on to this. And this pen is a sound transmitter. So anything that goes into this pen is then relayed to the neck loop that then goes into my hearing aids. So this is a great way to have sound amplification from any point in any room. So I don't have to be right there. I could be in the very, very back if someone's talking, or in a meeting or something like that. So it's a really cool device. So I just want to touch on a couple of those really quick. Also, I mentioned that we have the ergonomic devices. So just like right here is the split keyboard. So this is a great device to have for someone. It's super customizable with however long my forearms are and how I like to have it for wrist movement and access. So this is a great way to stay ergonomic and try to have those RSIs be like reduced and limited, and hopefully not happen at all. And also here's a vertical mouse. This comes in left and also right-handed. And that's just a great way to have your hand go in there. So it's a lot more vertical, as you can see. Instead of having your hand constantly down here, it could have certain pressure and eventually inflammation could occur right here and the carpal tunnel, and that could result in carpal tunnel syndrome or just other pain and tingling and all that kind of stuff. So it's always good to avoid that. And I just wanted to just also touch on just a couple of different just objects that could be utilized in any office or in any workspace, really, which is maybe a pair of scissors like this. It has it's spring loaded. So all you gotta do is press down and it comes right back up. So it might be easier for someone who has arthritis or just difficulty having that consistent motion of closing and opening. So it could be something as simple as just a spring-loaded pair of scissors, or it could look like tape that has a handle here that I can press down it'll shoot out a piece of tape. I can tape something, and then once I let go, it'll cut the tape, and then it comes right off. So it's a great way to kind of tape and go and not have to constantly do a whole lot of hand stuff with the tape there. And also there's things like automatic staplers. I will put a piece of paper down underneath this. It'll shoot a staple right into it. So I don't have to put all that pressure down with my hands and arm. And there's also things, this is a weighted grip here. So if someone has maybe any kinds of like trembling or shakiness, it could help with that since it has that weight to it. But it's also a larger grip here. So if someone has a pencil or something inserted in this, it's got a larger grip, it's easier to hold on to. So if I had arthritis or something like that, it would help reduce the amount of stress and fine motor control that I would need. So it's a more relaxed grip because it's a wider device there. So yeah, I just want to show a few of those items. I went through a lot of stuff in the last presentation, all kinds of different AT devices, and I can send that out to anyone who wasn't there for it. I could send that to you, and I can answer any questions about devices. And I had, I think, one more slide that I was gonna. It's just a conclusion slide. So yeah, it's like no matter what your disability or impairment is, there are services in the state of Maryland that are there to assist you with a multitude of resources, including identifying AT that could promote successful employment, also locating funding to assist you in purchasing that AT, or also receiving job training, or just locating available employment opportunities, and then post-placement mentoring, just to see how are you doing and how are things also coming along, and a lot more as well. So if you aren't sure, it's a good starting point is just reach out to me or any of us here at MDTAP, or contact any of the places that I mentioned. They have the links embedded in the titles. So you can go to any of those websites and talk to anyone there. It has phone numbers and emails, and all that is right in the hyperlinks. And someone's going to be able to help you. But if in doubt, just contact me or us at MDTAP, and I can pass you along to the correct resource. And there's also contact info for us here, which is our website and also phone numbers, and also for all of our regional contracts. So that's the Eastern Shore Bay SIL, this is the Southern Maryland SIL, and also Western Maryland SIL, which is RFI. And I'll send this out to everyone, so you guys will have this available, because I know this is way too much to write down this quickly. And I can take any questions. And also at the end of this is all these websites. So if there's any link that isn't working in the PowerPoint, I put them all here. So you should be able to find the correct link here and click on that way if it's not working for you in the PowerPoint. And that's all I have as far as that, and I can answer any questions right now.
So James, this is Lori. I was just skimming through the chat and the Q&A. A lot of good thoughts, comments. We did get a question about Matter, the high-tech AT reuse center. So I didn't know if you just wanted to touch on that to let folks know that we do have an AT reuse program that they could benefit from in terms of equipment that they could use in the workplace.
Absolutely, yeah. So our Maryland Assistive Technology Reuse Center, it just launched, was that January 2020. It's over in Howard County, and that is available for more high-tech stuff, and that is reuse. So all the AT devices there are typically donations from other people, and then at that point they are cleaned and sanitized and maybe refurbished a little bit if there's any damages and things like that. And those are also loaned, but it's an open-ended loan. So it could be, so it's not a 30-day loan, how MDTAP is always, like just tries to stick to 30 days just because there's so many people contacting us to try things. That's a good way to get it in and out. But at Matter, it's an open-ended loan, so it could be much longer than that. Really, it's as long as you need it. And that could be used for employment, for things like AAC devices, also blind low vision devices, CCTVs, and things like that. And that website is on mdtap.org as well. And it has a link to that on MDTAP.
We also had a question about the first webinar that we hosted in this series. Just to let folks know, we are in the process of converting both of these webinars to our YouTube channel. So once those are up, we can actually share those links with everybody that has registered for both the first and the second. So we will make sure we get that out to folks and everybody has an opportunity to watch the previous webinar.
Yep. Absolutely. And I'm going to type my email address down here in the chat. So if anyone wants to ask me any questions, just in the email, you can please.
We did have one other question, someone asking about the Department of Aging's Durable Medical Equipment Program. Because that is the Department of Aging, we don't have a lot of information in terms of how you donate or what their policies are about donation, but you can certainly visit their website and they do have a contact person listed, so you can reach out directly to that person. My understanding is that donations can be made in multiple places, so it's not just their main facility. I do think they have other facilities where you could donate that equipment to and it ultimately goes there. And then same for actually needing equipment through the Department of Aging. And their reuse program is a little bit different than ours. So their reuse is really what's called durable medical equipment. So that's things like walkers, wheelchairs, really different types of medical equipment. Our reuse program is focused on what's called high-tech AT. So that's where we're taking things like communication devices and eye gaze systems and adapted keyboards and refurbishing that and loaning that back out to the community. So they kind of serve two different needs. They marry very well, but serve two sort of different sets of needs. But certainly you can check out the Department of Aging website to get that information.
Absolutely.
All right. So with that, I'm not seeing too many other questions that are really popping in that we need to, that are, sort of generally speaking. Oh, here we do have somebody asking about the equipment that you just demoed. One second. Another screen popping up in front of it. The person is asking if you can send a list of devices such as the spring-loaded scissors, pencils, for those folks who have difficulties using their hands. Certainly we can send that information out when we send out the slide deck. And then if you have specific needs or questions, you can always give us a call or send us an email and we can answer those questions and send you links to different types of devices, just sort of depending on the individual's needs.
Absolutely. And you can shoot me an email as well, and I can talk to you one-on-one and offer more guidance.
Yep. Well, this has been excellent. So please stay tuned to your email so that you can see that slide deck when it comes into you, hopefully by the end of the day today. Otherwise, you can always send us questions that you have, and we will happily answer them. I will hand that back off to you, James.
Awesome. Yep, absolutely. So that's all I have for everyone today. So just if anyone has any questions, please email me and I will shoot this out to everyone in a PDF format so that you can have this like a little bit quicker. And then I will have this on a YouTube eventually. I'm going to try to do that this week, but I will be checking our YouTube page. And it should be uploaded soon if you want to rewatch it or also see last week's. And yeah, that's all I have for you. So I appreciate everyone tuning in and I will see you guys at the next one.